So I, like many others, grew up having Lego be a massive part of their childhood, whether it be playing with actual Legos or more so for me, playing the Lego video games. Most of my childhood gaming memories come from the Lego games, but mostly the original four. Lego Star Wars the video game, Lego Star Wars 2 the original trilogy, Lego Indiana Jones the original adventures, and of course, Lego Batman the video game. I was already a fan of Star Wars and Indiana Jones before playing their respective Lego games, but that's not really the case for Batman. Lego Batman was my first real introduction into the character, his mythos, and surrounding characters, so while I might have played it the least of the original four games, it certainly had the most impact on me. Without Lego Batman, I probably wouldn't have the love for Batman, the Bat Family, or his incredible rogues gallery that I have today. So obviously, when Legacy of the Dark Knight was announced and revealed to be an amalgamation of everything of the entire Caped Crusader's history, from many comic runs to the animated series and other TV shows, to the 1943 serials, to the Batman and Schumacher films, the Nolan films, the Arkham games, and of course, the most recent, The Batman. Pretty much every era of Batman is respected here with care and love. Obviously, Lego games aren't something you come to for deep emotional narratives, but it's pretty solid here. Majority of the story is bits taken from the movies, shows, comics, stitched together with some original stuff to help tie in and move the narrative along in a natural manner. The game also features the classic Lego slapstick style humor. There's plenty of gags and even references to other media much outside of Batman. Here's a handful of my favorite comedic moments from just the opening section of the game.
Hi, Mr. Falcone.
Nice to see you, Mr. Falcone.
Everything seems to be under control here, officer. Now, I wouldn't have a second's hesitation in making you beg right here in front of them, like a dog. No offense, Mr. Twinkle Toes.
My name is Raz Al Ghul. If you can bring it to me,
I can join your band?
League!
I have a particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like Carmine Falcone.
But we both need a flower to access the temple. There won't be another for miles. Huh?
Tiger prawn. Lesson 2. Always mind.
Behold, the element of surprise.
Thanks for helping with the luggage, Bruce.
My pleasure, Alfred. First off, we're gonna need a lot of black paint.
Oh, I've got a job lot of tangerine. Oh. Who are you?
I'm Batman.
Did you have a particular problem with these guys, Mr. Batman?
Hope you've learned your lesson, Jim. Bo.
Let's get him.
The game made me chuckle quite a few times. Obviously, humor is subjective, but I'm not a hard guy to make laugh, so the Lego games have always gotten some chuckles out of me, even being 23 years old. Not really much more to say about the story. As I said before, it's not really narrative focused, so I'll just move on to the gameplay. Now, the gameplay is the most important aspect here, I think. It's combat, most specifically. I've heard it be called Baby's First Arkham, and while I do agree with that to some degree, I also feel that it's a little dismissive. It's a Lego game, so obviously its target audience is mainly children, so they obviously have to make it accessible to people of all ages. I personally played the game on the hardest difficulty, Dark Knight, and to be honest, I think if you're familiar with the Arkham's combat to a knowledgeable degree, I think you should play on Dark Knight difficulty to get the most out of the experience. It mainly just increases the amount of enemies that show up during encounters and adds a 3 life limit to levels before your reset. Though the latter isn't very punishing, as it only sets you back to a recent checkpoint, something there is plenty of in levels, instead of sending you back to the start, which is something I personally would have preferred for a more risk-reward type experience. One controversial talking point surrounding the game when it was revealed was the game would only feature 7 playable characters base game: Batman, Jim Gordon, Catwoman, Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Talia al Ghul, with 2, Joker and Harley Quinn, being added later as DLC. Previous LEGO games, even LEGO Batman games, were known for having these large character rosters to go back into free play and go crazy with, so seeing it was only going to have 7 was a pretty far cry. Personally, I never saw this as an issue. Previous LEGO games, especially within recent years, have had massive character rosters, only featuring a handful of characters that were actually unique, with tons of characters that were just reskins of each other with the same abilities, just slightly differing animations, effects, or color. All 7 characters here feel pretty distinct from the other, mainly in combat. Traversal, they're basically all the same, having a glider and a vehicle, but each of their combat abilities are vastly different. For example, Catwoman has her whip, which can spin enemies and can be pinballed into other enemies, and a laser that can be used to temporarily incapacitate an enemy, sending a cat to jump on their head, or later a group of enemies with upgrades. While Nightwing, for example, has an electric batarang, which can be upgraded, an electric shock, multiple enemies stunning them, which you can follow with a beatdown, and a line launcher, which can tether enemies together, either sticking one to the ground or 2 together. This already elevates an already pretty solid Arkham-style combat system. Briefly mentioning stealth, it just kind of exists here. Again, I wasn't expecting Arkham levels of stealth, and if you went in expecting that, you're just kind of setting yourself up for disappointment. However, it certainly just feels like an afterthought here. Enemy AI is very forgiving, borderlining brain dead. On top of that, it's never really required. Any stealth encounter can easily be done getting into combat and taking them all out. Only real incentive to stealth is that undetected stealth takedowns will give you a decent amount of studs, and while nice, it just further proves its lack of depth. The open world is also solid, but not outstanding. There was worry around the time the game was announced about the open world. The previous LEGO game, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, was pretty heavily criticized for the massive focus on its open world design and collectibles at the expense of the levels, making them feel short and lack exploration, which is something LEGO games had always been known for. This was a sentiment I mostly agreed with, but it didn't personally hinder my enjoyment of the game, even if I felt the complete saga did some, at least for the original 6 movies, levels better than the Skywalker Saga. I think this is mostly the same case here, but to a far lesser extent. The open world and traversal are still the main focus here, but levels are longer with some more exploration to boot. Though there is a lack of free play with bringing other characters in, which is something I'll talk about later. The levels themselves, though, are pretty good, mixing in open world segments to tie missions together and actual levels themselves. The open world's real highlight, though, is traversal. Gliding through the world in the Arkham games was always a good time, some of the best open world gaming traversal. I don't think the gliding is as fleshed out as Arkham here, but it doesn't really need to be. It still feels good and controls really well, but the main highlight is the vehicles. Obviously Batman's Batmobiles, or the other characters' iconic vehicles, are very fun to drive around. They all basically drive the same speed, but they each have different handling to one another, so they feel at least a little distinct. You could see this as a negative, but it never really once hindered my experience, bar the occasional race. I will briefly bring up the Batcave. It's mostly a hub that you come back to in the story when it dictates it. Outside of that, everything attached to the Batcave is optional. If you're a creative person or just like decorating, this will be massive for you. I wouldn't particularly put myself into either category, but I had a ton of fun decorating the Batcave to my own style. If you stick around to the very end of the video, I'll have a Batcave tour if you want to see what I cooked up, or if you want to go ahead and see it, you can skip to this timestamp on screen. Now I'm going to talk about some things that I don't really like, starting with the red bricks. Previously to Legacy of the Dark Knight, red bricks would unlock extras, which are basically modifiers you could use to alter the experience. Stud multipliers, disguises for characters, turning floor into an ice rink, etc. This time around, they are color palette swaps for costumes and vehicles. While I don't care for the lack of these typical style extras, I actually don't mind the idea of being able to unlock character palette swaps. The issue is that these color palette swaps, for the most part, just look terrible. Just take a look here on screen. Most of them are ugly shades of greens or oranges or pinks or purples. You get it. These don't look good on any suit in the game aside from a couple palettes looking okay on Batgirl. Again, I like the idea of this, but they are desperately needed better color choices here because as is, it just sucks. On top of that, these color palette swaps also change the color of Jim, Robin, and Nightwing's hair pieces, pretty much ruining any colors that might have looked decent on them by changing their hair to pink or green. Hopefully this is something that can be patched, but as is, I'm not a fan. Another is unfortunately the open world activities. To be honest, this is an issue I have with the Arkham games too, just a bunch of nothing collectibles that don't add anything unique to the games. While I'm glad that they unlock some costumes and vehicles when doing enough of them, there's just far too many of them placed everywhere to find them meaningful. I would have liked them to focus on side stories that you can interact with other characters to do and have unique objectives. There is one of those here, but even then, it doesn't really stand out. This is something that I feel like the Skywalker Saga actually handled better. Another thing I don't care for, and this ties back into the open world, is the fact that some of the open world activities and collectibles require more than one sidekick to complete them. Say you'll come across one that needs Catwoman and Jim Gordon to be completed, for example. The issue with this lies in the fact that while you always have 2 characters in your party at a time, Batman can't be swapped out for another sidekick, meaning you have to swap to your sidekicks back and forth to solve multiple puzzles in the open world. It's not a major issue, but it's just another layer of tedium in an open world that's already filled with a tedious amount of collectibles. The last major complaint that I have, if you can even consider it one, is the lack of free play incentive. Now obviously you can replay levels you've already done here, like you've always been able to do, to get missing collectibles, but LEGO games of yore would incentivize going back into levels with newly unlocked characters to solve puzzles and get collectibles that you weren't able to get while in story mode. Legacy, unfortunately, has nothing of the sort. Any collectibles and levels can be gotten your first time through, and characters cannot be changed out during replay. You could probably chalk this up to the levels just being shorter than traditional LEGO games, so there's not many collectibles or many opportunities to have classic free play elements, but even then that could fall apart when the Skywalker Saga had shorter levels than Legacy, but still had free play. Probably not a major issue to most people, but as a massive LEGO game fan, it's just a little sad to see the removal of what was always my favorite aspect to LEGO games. Getting away from the negativity, I want to end by saying that I think Legacy of the Dark Knight is a fantastic LEGO game and an even better Batman game. I've seen people skeptical just because it's a LEGO game, but I think you're writing off a fantastic experience just because it might be marketed towards kids. While I don't think it's the best LEGO game like some reviews and outlets are saying, I could certainly see the argument being made for it being top 5, maybe even top 3. If you're looking for something more lighthearted and fun, or you're looking to scratch that LEGO itch, or most importantly, you're wanting some new Batman in your life that gives the character and his history the love it deserves, I don't think you'd find anything much better than Legacy of the Dark Knight. Hey, what's going on, guys? If you made it to the end of the video, you know that we're going to be doing the Bat Cave tour now. I'm going to go ahead and get you started. This segment is a little unscripted, so bear with me for a few minutes. As you can see here, we got all of the unlocked vehicles. Currently, I'll go ahead and show you what I'm working with for each character. Got the Arkham Asylum suit for Batman, the Batman Forever Batmobile. Got the Batman 89 skin for Jim and his GCPD Cruiser. Got the Nightfall skin for Catwoman and her Catmobile. For Robin, I got his LEGO Batman the video game appearance. And the Redbird from Batman and Robin. For Batgirl, I got the LEGO Batman movie. I think the colors just are awesome on this costume. And then the Batman 66 motorcycle. I don't really care for her other vehicles, to be honest. For Nightwing, I got his LEGO Batman the video game appearance again. And for his car, I have the Nightbird. I actually have a brick set on that I meant to take off. For Talia, I have her DC Bombshells costume with the Beauty red brick, as well as the sports car with the Showbiz red brick. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, on the bottom floor down here, we got a little training area. We got some benches. Get Batman to do some bench pressing. We got a dummy to beat up. Obviously, the workbench is here by default, and this was not customized. And a little tool and gadget area, and some training targets, as well as a little like parkour area I got right here that I customized. I think that's really it for the bottom level. We can go ahead and go to the next. All right, level 2 is a continuation of the training area. Just got some more bench presses, bench, some regular dumbbells, and some treadmills, and a few perch points, although I think the perch points are already here. I don't think I customized those. And some more punching bags and some dummies. We'll move over here to the Bat computer. It customized to have the Bat's lettering screensaver on, and I believe, yes, I have the third option of the Bat computer model. Go ahead and go up here next. I customized this area to be like a villain's display, so we'll go ahead and start over here. We got Poison Ivy right here, Calendar Man, which actually displays the current in real life time date, which is pretty cool. The Riddler, I've been trying to get this Riddler trophy to turn on, but I guess it's bugged and it doesn't. This is meant to be the League of Assassins or the League of Shadows. This section isn't really villains. I just wanted to have this in here because I wanted to have the Justice League character items in here. This is Mr. Freeze's Snow Globe. This is the Egg Baby from Batman Beyond, though I've not seen enough of Batman Beyond to know what that's from. The Hourglass, Shrek's cat head, and of course the The Arkham City blueprint. This one's for Joker. Got the big card in the back. The Arkham Joker TV head. It's a little shattering teeth. Then we'll go up. We got a little Clayface display here, as well as King Tut. And then the Two-Face spike things and the Killer Moth chair. Move on, head back this way. This is the lab area. I didn't customize this one too much because there's not really a lot of the like techie scientific stuff like this. It's just not super interesting to customize, so I kind of left it mostly alone. Okay, up on the third level we made it to, I had this little recreational area, a little dinner table, some sink, fridge, an oven, a grill, a few towels there. Campfire, obviously. You can roast some marshmallows. Got a TV and a couch and a fireplace and a little hat stand. And a bookshelf that is apparently the wrong way around, which is funny. I didn't realize that I did that. This area is for Bruce, a little Bruce working area. Got a bed and a desk and stuff. Customize these back here. And a little area for Ace the Bat Hound. I actually just realized before this recording that when you put this down, you could actually have Ace come out and pet him. That's really cool. This little area over here, I have customized just to be like a little junk area in this bat cave. I got the statue of Lady of Gotham. And then I have these two, put Batmite out of business for the Brutal Bat, and then built the T-Rex in the Bat Cave for the Emerald Bat. And as you can see right here is the T-Rex. You have to actually collect all the 50 bat signals for this. Which was a little time consuming. Right here in the middle, I have the Bat Throne, so Batman can sit and take a look over the entire Bat Cave. Pretty cool. We'll go ahead and head back down because everything else is on the lower levels. All right, next is the suit display area. There's not too much to customize here. All the customization spots are really small. So I tried to theme them around the characters they're around. Like we have Nightwing and Robin down here. So I just customized it to be like Haley Circus. Batgirl, I gave her a little techie area because she's very techie. We'll get to a spot in a minute that I tried to make a video game area for her. For Jim, can't really customize anything there. So that's why I gave him that sign. Oh, of course, the awesome original Batman mini kit. Sick. I'm so happy they put that in the game. Catwoman, I gave her a little area right here with some money, cat post, ATM, and a painting because you know she's a thief. And then Talia, we have a little League of Assassins like little training spot right here. This I didn't touch. I mean, there's not really much I could put in there. Bruce didn't really have anything to display other than the mini kit right there. I'll go ahead and move up in here. I don't know if everyone has access to this area by default or not, but this is where the DLC stuff is stored. I don't have I'm not sure what this one is supposed to be because this one's not updated at all. I assume this will be maybe for Joker and Harley Quinn when they release. And this is for the special skins. You got the first appearance skin, which was Warner Brothers account, I believe. The Dark Knight Returns, which was a pre-order bonus. And then the 2 HBO Max skins are supposed to go here, I think. Not sure what this one is. And then you have the Party Music pack, the Batman Beyond pack, and the Arkham pack right there. We'll go ahead and head over to what I believe is the final area. I still have yet to finish the Batman mural because that's going to take a lot of time. I still have like 10, maybe 15 challenges left to do or something. All right, and here is the final area. Got these customized posters up here. This area is a little game area. I initially had this planned to be a area for Batgirl. I had initially planned to have all of them have all of the different playable characters have a large area like this, like dedicated to them, like customized, themed around them. But then I realized that there weren't enough of these larger spaces in the Batcave, so I kind of just turned this one into a regular gaming area. A few of these items are from the Twitch drop, so unfortunately not everyone will be able to get, I believe, the gaming desk, gaming chair, and this little game stand, unfortunately, which sucks. Hopefully they end up releasing those items just in the game at some point. And this area is a music area. We got a little amp and guitar on both sides of the stage. And then obviously, of course, the stage. And then the dance floor again I have from over in the game area, and then a little DJ stand. All right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Bat Cave tour. If you did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.